Hey, we're back. I'm Jana with Pearl Together, and this is my co-host Lindsay from
Hello.
Illinois, podcast co-host, co-podcast. What's the proper term for that?
I think it's co-host.
Podcast partner?
Sure.
Lindsay and I are here to tell you how you can create your own color chart to help keep you on track with Fair Isle knitting. Now, here's why. Let me tell you what happened to me, and you'll see why this is helpful. Because if you'll notice on our newest knit along, the Crofter's Kept, the link's down below. If you'll notice, the pattern on the chart on the pattern is printed in black and white. And the reason for that is there is 4 or 5 different colorways that are of various Shetland wools that the designer has created colorways for. So rather than making 5 different color charts, she's made this chart that can be used with any kit colors. Do you see what I mean? But if you look at the different ones, like the first one that I'm doing, which you saw last week, the background color is dark. However, if you look at Lindsay's swatch, which is beautiful, by the way, her background colors are lighter.
Yes, light.
And that's lovely. I love the colors you chose for that. It's just beautiful. So the thing is if you look at the Uradale kit, for example, that has a light background, but then the bluish kit has a dark background. So it kind of depends. So what I was noticing happened to me is that the chart has a light background. So all the lighter squares are color A, but my color A is really dark.
Right.
Well, I kept inverting it in my brain and I'm like, wait a minute, what was A and what was B?
Right.
And I kept like totally flipping in my mind and I kept totally messing up my stitches because it was inverted in my brain compared to what was on the paper with the lighter squares and the darker squares. I know that sounds super stupid.
No, I don't think it does.
But I kept inverting it in my, you see what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Lindsay has a fantastic solution about how you can set up a spreadsheet with your actual colors. Hooray. Then you can just read it like a regular chart, knowing it's the same color as what you're knitting.
Yeah.
Yay. Show us.
And I did this before I purchased my yarn because I wasn't in love with any of the kits. I know what colors I really like. And I just wanted to make sure that I got to use colors that I loved.
Oh, and look what you chose is fantastic.
Yeah, I love it. And so before I purchased it, I wanted to kind of mock up my own little sheet to see if I liked it. So
that's a fantastic idea. So for 2 reasons, you can do the spreadsheet. Lindsay's going to show us how in Excel, or you could use Google Sheets or whatever. If you're a Mac person, then you probably know how to use numbers. Anyway, but you can mock up so you don't have this brain inversion thing like I did. And
it's really not as hard as you think. Like if you're not super comfortable with Excel, it's not as hard as you think.
She's going to show us how.
Okay. So
So Lindsay's going to share her screen.
Okay.
Fantastic.
So see here, I have my blank spreadsheet and I have my pattern. And
you are showing us the chart that's on the Shetland Wool Week webpage.
Yep.
Okay. So she's just got that set up side by side.
I just brought up this pattern so that I could look at this and see. So the first thing that I do, and if you're good at Excel, I'm sorry that I'm probably going to do things a little bit different than you would like, but this is how I do it.
But you'll get the idea.
So first of all, I want to work with a square. So I select all of my my whole thing by selecting this top corner button here.
Yep.
So I select my whole sheet and I'm going to drag this and I want my width to be, I like mine to be 15 pixels. So 1.67.
There you go.
And then I bring this up so that it is also 15 pixels.
So it's 15 by 15. And we all know that knit stitches are not perfect squares, but whatever.
Right.
Doesn't matter.
So then I want to create my pattern box. So it says right here, we've got 24 by 35. So I'm going to watch up here until it tells me that I have 24 columns.
Right.
And 35 5 rows.
And if you guys are spreadsheet savvy and you already know how to do all this, I'm going to put some chapters down below so you can like totally use the timestamps in the description, skip ahead if this part's boring to you.
Right.
Okay.
So I want all of my boxes to have borders. I want my thing to have a big thick border. You may not like that. I like that, whatever. So rather than boring you with how I went through, I mean, like it says here, background color is A. So you can go through and A, whatever. I have that already set up.
Okay. And so you did that. You went and put all the letters in on this other sheet and you're going to show everybody why.
Yeah. So there's all of my letters. So this looks nothing like the pattern. But then I know that I want all of my A's. So do you want me to show what my completed one looks like real quick?
Sure.
Okay. So this is my completed chart.
So you knew that all of your letter A's would be that gray.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So,
and then all of your B's were going to be kind of that peachy color.
Yep.
So then she went to the website of whatever yarn that you're using, whether that's Jamieson and Smith or Jamieson and Shetland or, you know,
whatever
British breeds or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And she made, pick one of those and made it bigger.
Yeah. So this isn't my exact one, but whatever. So this is one of the colors. So let's say that I want this color to be my background color. I want this to be my A.
All of the A's.
If I'm wanting this to be my A, I go over here. I want my paint bucket. None of these colors are this. So what I do is I go to more colors. I get this little dropper guy here and I find what is close. What color here? I mean, it's not going to be perfect, but what color here represents this color?
And so you know what? It doesn't have to be perfect. No. The whole point of this is just to keep your brain on track.
Yeah,
and so
get an idea.
Yeah.
So here's the color that I pulled out from that. It's similar. It's close enough to me. I'm going to fill in my A with that color.
So you're just going to go click, click, click.
So yeah. So now I know this whole row is A. So I'm just going to drag this guy over and I have all my A's.
Okay.
And I do that for every single color until I end up with this pretty spreadsheet here that has all of my colors.
Okay.
So, but if you want to do it a little quicker, I can show you something a little bit more advanced, but
and faster.
But and really not that difficult if you just follow along with the steps.
Okay, so you're up at the top on the menu bar.
I am. So this is the top of my Excel sheet.
Okay.
And I'm going to I'll make this the full screen so that you can see.
Sure.
This is what your menu bar would typically look like.
Okay.
So I want all of my A's to be that taupey color.
Okay.
So I'm going to go up to conditional formatting, which should be right here on your thing. If it's not, it would be under format, conditional formatting.
Okay, good.
And I'm showing the rules for my entire worksheet.
Okay.
And I want to add a new rule.
Okay.
So I'm adding my rule. There's different styles. I just know this because I know Excel. I want a classic. And I want to format only cells that contain. And this will fill like this. It'll say specific text containing. And I want to do all of my
the letter A's. So you're formatting all of the cells that contain the letter A.
Every single cell that contains.
Yep. So you're telling it to make all the A's that color.
Yes. So you see it has its little, this is what it's saying.
Yeah.
Is your A. I'm going to go down here to custom format.
Because you picked a dropper color, not that. Right.
And I'm going to do my fill, my background color. So because I have already used the dropper to select my color, it's down here under the recent colors.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So I know that I want my background color to be that taupe.
Right.
Now I could click OK and be done with it. and my all of my A's would be formatted like this. So you'd still see the letter there. I am picky and I don't want to see the letters.
Okay.
So before I'm done, I go up here to font and I color my font that same taupe.
Because you don't want to see the letter
Because
A.
I don't want to see the letters. It doesn't
Okay.
matter. You could see the letters. I just don't like to see the letters. So here's my preview that shows we're going to format every single cell that contains the letter A, and they're going to look just like this. They're going to be taupe. So I click OK. It applies to, so by default, it's selected just this one cell. I want it to apply to the whole sheet. So I'm going to click this little guy up here again.
In the diagonal corner. Okay.
Yep, between the A and the 1.
Yep.
And then I'm going to click OK. And then, like magic, all of my A's are taupe.
Yay! Shazam.
Yeah. So it's really not that.
No,
I
do
don't
the
think it's
bees.
that.
Now I want to watch you do the bees.
Sure.
So we'll go through it one more time for the viewers and we'll do the bees. And then
So,
people can rewind or rewatch if they
yeah.
want, but just do the bees because it's like magic and it makes me happy.
Yeah. So let's go back over here and find a new color.
Okay.
'Cause
So
that's
let's
also
have the
fun.
bees be like, I don't know, green or something.
Okay.
There you go.
Oops. He didn't pop up there. Green. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is a good example because this
Right.
color you could think is
It's a
green.
mix.
This color you could think is blue. You're not going to get a perfect.
But it's okay
But
because you'll
again,
know what it
right,
is.
you know which color it is.
Yeah.
So we're going to go back up here to conditional formatting. We're going to do a new rule.
Okay.
And we want to do
Classic.
classic rule. And we want to format only cells that contain. And we're going to do our B.
Okay.
Then we're going to custom format.
Format.
And we're going to go over to fill. And we want our background color.
Yeah.
I'm just going to move this over here so that I can see this ball of yarn. We want more colors.
Because you got to pick the dropper.
Yep. I want the dropper. And then
choose something.
You got to choose something that is.
Because it is marled and heathery. Uh-huh.
There's a blue that it could be.
Ish.
Or it could be more. I mean, it's just sometimes difficult to get exactly
the pixel you want.
Play with this little guy down here just to get, and I also like to bring it over close to the yarn. So this is a pretty good representation. It's close enough. I'll know that that's the color I'm working with. So
and especially if you set up a little key over to the side. Yeah.
And again, like I said, I like to color my font also. I've already selected the color, so it's right here.
Yeah.
We click OK.
And
we click
Shazam.
OK. Well, not Shazam because I didn't apply it to anything. We want to
apply it to the sheet.
To the whole sheet.
Okay.
And now Shazam.
Yay!
All of our bees.
Okay, well, that's cool, Lindsay.
It is, and it's fun, and it's easy. Like when I was trying to pick out my yarn, I'll stop sharing my screen so you can see us.
Yeah.
When I was trying to pick out my yarn, it was fun to like, oh, well, I think I like that, but let's try this other one. Yeah. Or let's see what it would look like on a white background. Mm-hmm. So it's fun. I love Excel because I'm a nerd. And I have no qualms with that. I'm fine being a nerd.
Yeah, it's all good.
It is.
And see, nerdy people teach other people to be nerds. And we teach you to be nerdy. It's fantastic.
And teach you to be a better knitter.
Yes. And deal with your own little brain inversion problem.
Yes. Yeah.
That's a fantastic idea.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that.
No problem. I hope people are able to utilize that. And I've done this for a lot of knitting projects.
I think it's wonderful.
Yeah.
And it's a great way to know, especially if you have stash yarn, because you could take a photo with your phone and then use the color picker from your photos on your computer. Yeah.
And I just think that there's something better about looking at a chart that is your colors, even because sometimes those grays, like the differences in the grays on the pattern, it's hard to tell which one is a little bit darker, which one's a little bit lighter.
Well, yeah, that's and the thing is on the kits that you order, particularly if it's, ones from my affiliate link at Needlepoint Joint or one of the ones that are listed on the pattern, it does tell you which
Oh yeah,
yarn
yeah,
number goes with which, but I agree. It's fun to look at your colors on the chart.
yeah.
Cool. Thanks for sharing that.
No problem.
All right, until next time. We'll look forward on the next podcast. We'll see more of your hat.
Hopefully.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes.
All right. See you then.
See
Bye.
ya. Bye.